Well, hello from Freedom Feather Farms, just south of Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome. Glad you could join us. All right, going to sit here for a little bit and see if we get anybody pop in. Till then, I'll just kind of wait to see what happens. This is the first ever live show for Freedom Feather Farms. Got big things planned for 2020, so I thought I'd start the year off YouTube with the introductory live stream. See how this goes. Start posting a little more often. Looks like I got one viewer in. If you're in the chat, I'd appreciate it if you'd say hello. Let me know how the audio sounds. So welcome to Freedom Feather Farms. I appreciate if somebody can tell me if the audio sounds fine. I apologize if you can hear the chirping in the background. We got chicks in the brooder, so they like to get in on the fun too. If you're watching and the audio and the video sounds okay, if you can't jump into chat, how about give me a thumbs up just so I know that streaming's working okay. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's 7:30 on the East Coast, U.S. Well, hey, homesteading with Sadie. Hope you're doing well. Does the volume sound okay? My test, it was a little loud, so I adjusted the mic, brought the level down a little bit. You hear me okay? Great. Yes, I got a shout out from the Chicken Lover channel. Thank you. Glad to hear it. I got a shout out a few months back, and that kind of got me thinking it'd be fun to post some videos. Did pick up a few new subscribers. I saw you subscribed as well, so thank you for that. I've always thought about posting some videos around, so thought I'd sit down tonight and figure out a live stream. I actually live streamed the chicks being hatched on my Facebook channel, my personal Facebook channel. Let that run for a couple hours, and that got me thinking I might do a little live stream time to time. Kind of get used to talking to a camera. So I don't know, a lot of people think it's weird, but I thought it'd be easier to talk live to the camera and maybe watch the chat than try to come up with some kind of content that'll come down the road. But still just want to see how if I can get used to standing in front of a camera without making a total fool of myself. So glad you popped in, Sadie. Thank you. So as you can see from the flag behind me, I'm in the name of my channel. I'm a fairly patriotic guy. A lot of members of my family are past military veterans. My channel is kind of a tribute to those that have fought for our freedom. So as you can see, it's Freedom Feathers. We've got the American flag and a few of my chicken feathers hanging on the flag. So this is right over my couch in my living room. So it's kind of the mainstay on my channel and the mainstay on my living room. So wouldn't you know, the phone would ring right in the middle of a live chat. All right, well, we're going to sit here for a few minutes and see if anybody else pops in. I really don't have a lot to talk about. Just wanted to kind of get my feet wet with this, so to speak. I don't follow Patriot Farm. I'll have to check that out. As you can see, I may be wearing I'm wearing a Lumna Acres shirt, and some folks may know me from that channel. If you're not familiar with Lumna Acres, he's got some of my black copper marns. He's got a black copper marn rooster and a hen of mine. He had a couple of olive eggers, but unfortunately, he just lost an olive egger that I sent him. I sent him a dozen. Sent him a dozen hatching eggs of the black copper marns last year, and sent him half a dozen of the olive eggers. So those Rusty is out of one of my breeder stock, Rusty and his hens. So Al and I have, I'm a fan of Al, and he and I talk from time to time. I'd like to call him my friend. He and I talk back and forth through Facebook Messenger quite often. So he's kind of an inspiration for this too. Not that I ever want to go with full-time YouTube, but there's a lot of homesteaders out there that kind of think the same and do the same. I'm always out in the yard messing with the birds, doing something, hatching. I'm not quite as active as some of those other guys are, but figured I'd tow the camera along here and see if we can't make some content. I think it would be cool to gain a few subscribers, and hey, if the channel grows and I make a couple bucks along the way to kind of put back into the farm, then that's fun too. So we'll see how it goes. But going on almost 7 minutes now. I don't know how long I'm going to run with this. Still looks like it's just homesteading with Sadie here. So we'll run with it for a few minutes. I will talk a little bit about myself, kind of explain who I am. I'm fortunate enough that I live on about 40 so acres of family land that's been in the family for about almost 100 years now. The road that I live on was actually named for my grandfather. I'm living in the house that my mother was raised in, not the house she was born in, but she's raised in this house. I went through a divorce back in 2010 and pretty much lost everything I had. I was set to retire actually next year. Actually, it had been this year. Come September of this year, I would have been financially free. We were on a 15-year mortgage from back in 2005, planning on being debt-free in 2020, which here we are. And, well, that plan didn't work out. So I started over. My grandmother passed away in 2000, this is her house. And my aunt is a fairly well-to-do mystery novelist. And she owns the property, and she remodeled this house and offered it up to me when I got through a divorce in 2011. So I've been living here since then. So fortunate enough to where between the two of us, we share about 40 acres on the homestead. I kind of the caretaker. They're getting a little bit of age. So I kind of do a lot of the outside maintenance, and in trade for that, they pretty much give me the run of the land. So I've kind of started building my homestead up. Got chickens, been breeding chickens now for about 3 or 4 years. I've kind of started thinking about bringing in some pigs. My daughters, I've got 2 daughters, a 19-year-old and a 13-year-old. And my youngest one, she decided she just absolutely loves goats. So she's been on me to want to get some goats for a long time now. But watching Wiedemann Reap and Art and Bree and Lumna Acres and a few of the others, I just don't know if I'm ready to bite off that chore yet. Certainly not ready to start milking a bunch of goats. Of course, I know you don't have to milk goats if you don't breed them, but I still don't know if I want to bring goats in yet. But I am looking to possibly bring in some pigs. I like how Al raises his pigs for meat, and that's kind of what I would envision doing. So I did bring a excavator home from work and cleared out a little spot where I put me a pig pen in. Just haven't kind of pulled the trigger on that yet. I need to build a pen and find a decide on what pigs I want to bring in. So that'll come sometime down the road. But that's kind of what I'm looking towards, is continuing my breeding program with my black copper Marans, my Americanas. And I do fairly well with them. I sell a few birds here and there, sell probably 10, 15 dozen eggs a week. So chickens are paying for themselves, and it's a lot of fun. Bunch of laughs. They're as much pets as they are, producers on the homestead. We have a lot of fun with them. And that's kind of one thing I think we'll probably start doing is filming some of those escapades in the future. If you look through my channel, you see I probably got a few videos out there, just short clips. I kind of have I guess you call it like a 4-year-old sense of humor. So I kind of will post these little short, quick, funny type of videos. Just I put one out not too long ago with chickens chasing behind me when I'm a southern country boy. He asked me to do more than 2 or 3 things at one time. I can do all of them. I don't do any of them very well. But it's in North Carolina, basically about 10 right smack dab in the middle of North Carolina, Johnston County. Grew up in Wake County. I grew up 4 or 5 miles south of or east of the city of Raleigh city limits. So love it here. Wouldn't even think about going anywhere else in the country to live. Born and raised in North Carolina, and they'll bury me right here too. So I don't know what else to say, but other than, like I said, we'll try to post some more videos. The chickens along the way. I got a brother, Clayton. Okay, yeah. I used to work in Clayton. I actually lived in Clayton right after I got divorced. Like I said, I got divorced in 2010. I worked in Clayton for about 6 or 7 years. And from 2010 to 2011, while the house was being remodeled here, I actually lived in Clayton. My ex and my daughters, they still do live in Clayton. My ex-wife is from Fuquay, Varina. When we split up, she moved to Clayton. I was actually living in Clayton. We split up. She went to go live with her mom for a little while. I got a place in Clayton. We sold our house, family house, and then she moved into the same neighborhood that I did. So she obviously wasn't too afraid of moving right back close to me. She moved about 5 houses down from the same neighborhood that I was living in. So yeah, it's a small world. So like I said, I'm looking forward to maybe filming some of the chickens. I did a live stream on Facebook of the chicks that I got that are hatching out. So far, I've hatched 12. Looks like I think I've got 8 black copper Marans and maybe 4, maybe it's a little more than 12. I need to go in there and count. I can't remember. I staggered them in the incubator a couple 2 or 3 days adding to them, so I've kind of lost count now. I think there was 10 in there this morning. There's 2 in the incubator, and I think I put another one. Either got 12 or 13. So about 6 or 7 black copper Marans, and then some olive eggers. So that'd be pretty neat. So it looks like they're going to be lavender olive eggers. So it's going to be a good looking bird. So apologize, excuse me. So like I said, we'll continue to try to grow the channel a little bit, do some neat things. I'll probably show the birds, maybe carry the camera around. My biggest hindrance right now, and that's the reason why I'm doing a live stream, is I can edit. I just working 60 hours a week and everything else I got going on. I've got to be able to just force myself to sit down and go through the software to get to where I can do it without spending 5 hours trying to edit up a 30-minute clip or a 20-minute clip. I know I'm exaggerating, but I just don't have, you hear this, these YouTubers say, they spend 4 or 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours of video editing to get a YouTube quality video. I've got to be able to do like a one take or sit down and spend, 20, 30 minutes doing a live stream or just post something from my cell phone and upload it, something like that, or maybe even a GoPro and just do a one cut and throw it up. I just don't have that kind of time to spend, several hours in the evening doing it. Now, with that being said, I guess if my videos took off and my channel started growing and it made it worthwhile doing something like that, then maybe we would. But until then, right now, this is really just kind of see what kind of feedback I get. I was curious if I threw a video up here on the live stream, just what kind of response I'd get, if anybody at all would even pop in. So I appreciate you guys coming in and joining me tonight. I don't know what else to say. If you got any questions, Sadie, if there's anything you want to know, I said you're in a chat, and I appreciate that. Be glad to touch on some things, but that's going to be it. Weather's getting ready to get nice out here, so I'll be able to spend some time outside. Of course, it's always nice in North Carolina. We don't have much of a winter, but it'll be warming up, and I'm an outdoorsy guy, so like I said, I just got to force myself to bring the camera out and do some filming. I'm in the middle right now expanding the coop. I've got 3 coops. Each coop is 4x8, and they've got a 8-foot run that's attached to them, and the run is 8x8. Of course, there's 4 feet underneath the coop, so you can say each run is 12x8, 7 feet tall, and I'm expanding the runs the 16 by 24, so they'll have 200% more run when I'm done with it, and I'm going to build a 4th coop on the backside. And that's going to kind of be, it's hard to explain. I'll do a video on it, but I'm going to block off a little bit of that area. It's kind of like a nursery brooder pen. So they'll have, 12 by 24 run that opens up into a 16 by 24 run. So during the day, once the birds are all grown and they're all the same size, and I can unitize the flock, or integrate the flock, I guess I should say, they'll have, what would that be? That would be 24 by 24. They could actually be more than that. That'd be 28 by 24 that they could run around in. Of course, I do let them free range, but I work 7:30 to 4:30, so most days during the week, then Saturday. So when I get home in the afternoons, I let them out for a few hours. But that'll give them a little better quality of life. I've got about 40 birds right now. I've had more, but right now I'm at about 40. And I got 25 coming from McMurray hatchery this week. And I've got however many are going to hatch. I'll probably have 15 of my own birds that'll wind up hatching this week. So we're going to add another essentially 40 birds to the mix. Of course, I may not keep all of these. I've got some whiting true blues coming in. I've got some whiting true greens, so those are going to make my olive eggers. I did buy a couple Americanas. I think I bought 8 whiting true blues, 8 whiting true greens, 5 Americanas, and then I've got a couple of my daughters and I, just as a pet, we like the Buff Orpingtons. I just like that breed. I got one, and she's just an angel. She'll just about let you sit in she'll sit up in your lap. She's just a doll baby. So we got a Buff Orpington, and I know I'm forgetting something. I got something else. I'd have to go back to the list now. I can't remember it. But at any rate, we got some birds coming in when they get here. We'll have fun getting those ready. Got a couple of Rhode Island Reds, and those don't have anything to the Buff Orpingtons and the Rhode Island Reds. They don't have anything to do with my breeding program, but I wanted to just get a few of the Rhode Island Reds. People have always thought like the Rhode Island Reds are really good layers, and I do sell a lot of eating eggs. My birds are organic. Uh, the land hasn't had any pesticides or hasn't had any herbicides put on it, and at least, oh good grief, probably at least 20, 25 years, if not longer. I'm mid 40s. The land hadn't been, actually, it's probably been closer, probably a lot longer than that. Yeah, probably 25 years because I'm mid 40s. And I can remember the last time there was any tobacco or anything on the land was probably when I was in my very early teens. And ever since then, they've let the pines grow up around and everything. So there's been nothing sprayed on this land for 25 years. So I market my eggs as organic, non-GMO, non-pesticide, non-herbicide, and I get about $4 a dozen for my eggs, and I sell 10 dozen eggs a week. So I wanted to get a couple of the Rhode Island Reds just to see if they were going to be daily layers. I'd probably if I've got some barred rocks in their daily layers, the black copper marns, they lay about every 2 or 3 days. Americanas lay about every other day. So due to the fact that I do sell so many eggs, and that pays for the feed, I've kind of experimented with the Rhode Island Reds to see if they'll be a daily layer. I like the barred rocks, but they just don't have the temperament like I'd like. They seem to always be skittish or a little bit mean with the other chickens. So I'm gonna try the Rhode Island Reds and see how that do. If they become a daily layer, then I may start using those as my dailies instead of the barred rocks. Yeah, I love the Americanas. I wouldn't say mine late. I've got probably 8 or 9 Americanas, and I mean I get Americana eggs every day, but I only get 2 or 3. I've got 4 barred rocks, and I get 4 barred rocks eggs every day. Black copper marns, I've got probably 15 of them, and I get 6 or 7 eggs a day from them. So, out of 40 birds, I get 20, 22, 23, sometimes 25 eggs a day. That's not 40 birds. I got 5 roosters. So out of 30, and I run around in 40. I don't know how many I got. I had to go out there and count. It's hard to count and move all around, but I got mid 30s. I got between 35 and 40 birds, 5 of them being roosters. I got I'm sorry, I don't have slaves. I get nervous. I start scratching them, fidgeting. I have 5 roosters. 4 of them are black copper marns. And last year at one of the local feed stores, they give me their bonus chick that they got, and I wasn't even thinking. I should have known better that most bonus chicks that you get from the hatchery, if you buy 25 and they send you an extra, that's one of their roosters or males that they're trying to get rid of. And the girls were with me, and they offered me to just if I wanted it, I could have it. And I was trying to make the girls happy. Of course, you tell 2 girls, do you want a free animal? They're going to take it. So lo and behold, it's a buff Orpington, a buff Brahma rooster. And my oldest daughter, my 19-year-old, she became attached to it, and that's her pet. Of course, the thing's as big as a basketball. That rooster probably weighs 15 pounds. And I'm not really joking. It's the biggest thing rooster I ever seen. But he's a little bit crimping my breeding program because I'm fingers crossed every time. I don't see him mating too many of the black copper marns, but he gets around. So it's kind of a struggle right now. I told Brittany, my oldest, that that rooster's going to have to go, and she hadn't flat out kind of thrown a fit over it, but I've tried to bargain with her. And when I put my order in with Murray McMurphy, I looked to see if they had some buff Brahmas. I was going to order a female, see if I could trade her out a female for letting that rooster go to Tradesville. Somebody else take that rooster that needed one, and lo and behold, Murray McMurphy didn't have any. They were back ordered until like August, so that plan kind of failed. So I need to get rid of him, but for now, it's my daughter's pet, and I guess keeping peace at home is more important than the chickens, chicken breeding. So we'll keep it for now. So it's the other way around with me. Reading your comments is my oldest loves the chickens. My younger daughter thinks I'm crazy. My oldest one, and I guess that's typical 19-year-old teenage girl. She doesn't really get excited about much. She's in college and she likes the chickens, and I can tell she likes them more than she really puts on. But she puts on that, the kind of the whatever face, as I say. She doesn't really get it. She doesn't show the excitement, but yet you mentioned something about doing something with the chickens, and she never says no. Or she's talking to one of her friends or something and says she's going to bring the friends by to see the chickens. She's as proud of them and as attached to them as the others. But my youngest one, she's 13, and she absolutely adores her some chickens. She just thinks they're just the greatest thing ever. And she's got one rooster. It's actually the father to Rusty alumnus. We call him Carrot Top because of the orange top. And she'll grab a hold of that rooster and pick him up, and she hugs him, and that rooster don't even try to get away. He's been handled by her since that rooster was a chick, and he's like 2 years old now. He just stands there when he sees her. He just stands there and waits for her to pick it up because he might as well not run. She'll just chase him down and get him, so he don't even bother anymore. But she's got that rooster tied around her finger, so to speak. So yeah, I do watch Jason at Cog Hill. If you watch it, I probably watch it. I don't have cable TV, so all I do is pretty much watch YouTube. I hardly watch anything else other than YouTube, maybe occasional Netflix or Prime. But yeah, I like Jason at Cog Hill. I watch him probably right regular. I do watch Lumna every day. I watch Reedham and Wheat most of the time, or Weedham and Reet most of the time. I've got some others that I kind of casually watch. I do kind of casually watch Art and Bree. I casually watch a few others. I like White House on the Hill every now and then. Several others. If you watch it, I probably do too. If they're a decent sized channel, I like Bobblehead Homestead. He's different. He kind of reminds me of myself in a way because I'm one of these try to do something with nothing. Like I said, being divorced. Obviously, I have commitments to have to come first every month, so I'm not rolling in financial freedom like I was. I do things on a shoestring budget, so I like watching Jeff over at Bobblehead. He's kind of neat to see what he does with pretty much I won't say nothing. He's got a few bucks into the system that he's got set up, but he's just one of those smaller channels that I like to watch. I can't think anybody else now. I could go down my list, my sub list, but I do watch primarily homestead and style subscriptions. What's her name? Mary Carl. Yeah. I kind of joke around with Alexis, my youngest, that Mary Carl is slightly more obsessed than Brittany is. she will bring a chicken into the house, but she's not. She doesn't have to have the parrots and all the others in her room and parakeets and whatnot. But she does love her. She does love her chickens. Mary Carl is kind of funny to see her. I get a kick out of Mary Carl when they even mentioned something about going buying chicks or whatnot. I was in Tractor Supply today, and I saw them putting in the tubs, getting ready for the chicks coming in for their chick days that they do. And I'd imagine Jason has to go out of his way not to ride by Tractor Supply this time of year, anywhere else that sells chicks, because if you watch the videos, Mary Carl's always got a pocket full of money just waiting for a reason to buy some chicks. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But and I like Jason. In the same way with Al, and I guess that's one reason why I kind of like Al's channel, and I'll say like Jason's Coghill on the phone, Coghill's channels. I like those real down to earth kind of channels, to where they're not necessarily trying to come up with a content to put out just to make a video. Al does a lot of projects, and I get that he has to do projects to make content, but at the same time, he's making projects or doing projects that betters his homestead. And it's a win-win for him, because he can make a video that gets 30,000 views. And of course, I don't know that it pays for itself, but knowing ad revenue, AdSense with YouTube, that's kind of that's his living. So yeah, he's making a living, making his homestead better. But the point I'm making is that his channels, like Coghill's, their channel's real. They're just out there doing what they do, and William and Reek the same way. They're living the farm life, doing what has to be done on the farm, and bringing us with them along the way. So, I don't know that I would ever get to that level. I don't even know that I have aspirations to get to that level. But I think we all kind of, if you watch enough YouTube, I think we all have that kind of living vicariously through some of these folks. I wish I could do that. And YouTube's kind of a pretty neat thing to think that you can put out a video and you get 1,000 subs, and what is it? However many hours of view time you can actually get paid to make a video. So, if that's not American dream, I don't know what is, be able to do something you like to do and get paid for it. So, I think it'd be pretty neat. So, well, we're going on 33 minutes here. I think I've rambled long enough. Homesteading with Sadie, I appreciate you hanging out. Like I said, you just listen to a fat guy stand here or sit here and run his mouth. But like I said, kind of gives me an opportunity to sit here and get a little more comfortable talking to the screen. So appreciate you being the guinea pig tonight and hearing me out. So I really do appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Like I said, I don't know. I would say if there's anything I could do to return the favor, I'd certainly do it. But if anything ever gets to the point to where I can reciprocate in any way, feel free to ask. I do appreciate it. I appreciate the shout outs that I got that even got me just a handful of subs along the way. It kind of planted the seed to maybe get the YouTube thing started. Like I said, I don't have any major big dreams here, but I do think it's kind of exciting to start something new. So you have a good night too. I appreciate it. Thank you so much again for sitting here. It was fun for me. You take care of yourself. Yeah. You're a friend. Yeah. Appreciate it, friend. And that's what this YouTube thing's all about. That's what kind of makes it cool is you're watching somebody else's videos and you might not necessarily think that, hey, this person doesn't know me, but through the comments and through talking back and forth, and especially some of these other channel owners, they come in and they comment back to you. Yeah, it is like you're having a talk with a friend through the internet. So yeah, absolutely. And I honestly believe you can make friends through the internet. And there's a lot of bad out there, but there's a lot of good too. So it is a good place to come and be with people with like minds. So thanks. Yeah. Appreciate it, friend. I'm going to sign off. We're at 3510. You have a good evening. God bless you. And appreciate you being here tonight. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.